Hello everyone, this is Andre from SWL. This radio is the Choyong LC90 and I'm going to do an unboxing here. There are many reviews online and also on YouTube calling this the best radio ever. That is quite something to say. I am approaching this with an open mind. I will unbox it. I will do a test here, an initial test, and then over the coming weeks I will do some more tests. What makes it unique is that it's got shortwave, medium wave, FM, but also internet radio. So it's a combination of internet radio and regular radio stations. Now the issue with that, of course, is that the internet radio with all its electronic components causes a lot of internal noise. The manufacturers, Choyong, they have made some plans and they've revamped the radio internally, they've revamped the firmware. So some of the initial problems have been sorted out. The company contacted me and offered this as a review copy. So I am doing this as a review with a version that the company sent to me. Came in this box, quite a big box, as you can see. Inside, covered in bubble wrap, we have the actual radio. This is very, very premium packaging. The packaging is really something else. Here you can see the packaging. It's really quite premium, very nicely packaged. Let me just open up all this plastic. I'm going to cut it because it's quite tight. Right. Just have a look at what is at the back of the box. We have brand Choyong, model LC90, product name Internet Radio. They only call it an Internet Radio. Interesting. Country of origin, made in China. There's an email address. Manufacturer. This is what we have on the inside. It's the radio, covered in a little plastic film. There is a USB cable, type C, and there is a manual. So let's have a quick look at the manual. Choyong User Manual, Portable Multiband Internet Radio. Right, it's quite an extensive manual, I can see. So, location of controls, on, off, FM mode, gives you some information about how to use the different modes. There's a voice search option, which is something that is really quite nice and useful, I think. Language mode, yeah. It's very simple, this manual, just a couple of sentences for each function. I'll have to figure it out as I go along. And let's see here, if we remove this plastic film. This radio, of course, it retails for $299 on Amazon. It is currently available for $250. So here we have the radio. It's very premium looking. It does look quite good. Of course, you would expect that at the price. The radio, it's got this keypad here. Up there you can see FM, medium wave, shortwave. There's Bluetooth. TF will be for the TF card playback. There's a menu option that I'm guessing would be for the TF card playback. These buttons here, I think, are for internet radio stations and podcasts. That's podcast. There you will find music internet stations. There you will find news internet stations, I think. As you can see, it says FM, AM, shortwave, internet radio. There's a lock button there at the top. That's a timer as opposed to clock. That would be the settings. Got some rubber pads here. Down there we have the TF card and a SIM card. You can also add a SIM card to it. There we have the headphones. This one is a fine tuning dial. This is the tuning dial. This would be the volume. At the back, here we have the coverage. FM is 64 to 108, medium wave is 522 to 1710, shortwave is 2.3 to 26.10 megahertz. So not the full shortwave band, but it covers most of it, so that should be sufficient. There we have the antenna. Wow, it's actually got a really, really long whip antenna. You look at it there, it's very, very long. I will measure it now so that we can see how long it is. It is 97 centimeters. This antenna is 97 centimeters. That is almost 1 meter. You will have to be really careful that you don't break this antenna. It also has an external antenna input here. So for example, you could use something like the MLA 30 Plus. Without further ado, let's switch it on and see. Right, so it takes a couple of seconds to light up, but there it's coming. Okay, this time is not correct. Maybe that's China time. But yeah, the date is correct. So I don't know. Let's see if we can listen to something. Okay. This is our volume. This is RSG, a local station. Hot 102.7, a local station. I see it's got a signal strength there at the top. It shows you. Let's see a distant FM station, Pretoria FM 104.2. This is something that something like the Chodosen, which is very, very good on FM, picks up very easily. Okay, it's there. It's not very strong. Let's see, there's another one, 103, that is also from Pretoria, called Impact FM. Yeah, they're almost. 107.5 is Bosveld FM. It's also a distant one like Pretoria FM. It's about 50 kilometers. 107.5. Yeah. Okay. So FM reception, it's okay. It's not wonderful. But one has to keep in mind now the market of this radio. It's probably aimed at people who would like to have an internet radio first, and then these other options are just nice to haves. Let's see shortwave.
وبالتالي هذه يعني تقديم المدنيين كبش فداء واستخدامهم كدروع بشريه بواسطه ميليشيا الدعم Muhammad mai turare daɗin kowa da sunan Abubakar mai wanki da kuga daɗin kowa da mai zobe matar
Говорят, что касаешься не только твоих статей, а очень связано с китайской историей и культурой. لأن اليوم الشرعي يقول لماذا
So I must say that shortwave performance is actually really impressive. I'm surprised. It is actually really good. It's quite noise free, as you just heard, and it is very sensitive. It picks up lots and lots of stations. I'm using the MLA30 Plus, of course. Let's look at medium wave. This radio is known to be not very good on medium wave. That is one of the flaws of this radio. Okay, so I just need to change the steps for the medium wave. It will be here under settings. And okay, there's the Wi-Fi. FM step, there's medium wave step. Now, how do I select it? Ah, there. Just press the tuning knob. So now it's 9 kilohertz. Let's go back to medium wave. The radio is quite intuitive to use, actually. It's not difficult to figure out what to do. So 702 is a local station. Yeah, medium wave. You just hear noise at the moment. 657 is a strong local station. And 639 is Lesotho. Yeah, okay, no, that's enough. Medium wave is very poor. You can see that. This radio is not for medium wave. You could hear the noise there on 657. This is a strong local station. It's FM-like quality usually, but it doesn't sound like it on this one. You can hear that electronic type noise in the background. Let's look at the internet station. I think if you go to, or the internet stations, so if you go to menu, yeah, it's giving us here a list of countries. To test the internet radio and the podcasts, let me just add my Wi-Fi network. So there's Wi-Fi on, available Wi-Fi networks. Okay, that's the one. So adding the password is going to take a while. As you can see, you need to run through using the tuning dial, and the capital letters are right at the end. Okay, so I'm going to add my password quickly. There, I added the password. Let's hope it's going to connect. I am connected. As you can see now there, the Wi-Fi is there. I'm actually using mobile internet today because the internet is down here at my location in Johannesburg, my fiber internet, which made me think that is one of the reasons probably why people would like to get a radio like this. You might be interested in internet radio first and foremost, but then when your internet is down for some reason, then you have the regular radio to fall back on, which is a very nice option, I think. Good, so I've got my Wi-Fi connected now. So if we go to menu, let's look. I'm going to look here in Africa because that's where I am, Johannesburg, of course. Let's see what it's got here. South Africa, there we go. Music, news, podcast, national station. I'm in the Gauteng province. Let's just look for interest's sake what stations they will have. .702. Okay. There's a nice selection, but yeah, it's quite small, but there is a nice selection. Let's listen to SAFM. This is a public service station here in Johannesburg. Oh, this is very interesting. At the bottom, it shows you can actually now tune to, by turning the tuning dial, you can tune to another station on the dial. That is quite nice. That is really quite interesting. Takes a while to load though for every station. Okay, but it works. That was good. And it's easy and simple to find stations. You can add your own stations also. I think there is a button somewhere. This one. This editing button is a way to add stations that are not here. So you can use that. Here we have another station. Okay. So I just wonder, how do we go back to the menu? Oh, it shows you there. There's a back button. You're on OK. It will give you some other options. Oh, that's how you can scroll through the stations. Let's cancel. And this is back and back. Okay, there I go back to my menu, right? So let's go to, I want to see, I will travel to Reunion Island in January this year. There were some nice radio stations there. Let's see what they've got there. As you can see, all the countries. There's Reunion Island. Let's look at news. There's a station there called Réunion La Première. There it is, part of the French public radio network, and this one is specifically aimed at the overseas territories, French overseas territories.
Madame Chabot, Marie-Jeanne, née Fontaine, décès survenu aujourd'hui à l'âge de 62 ans. La veillée mortuaire se tient au 464.
Yeah, there it is. That's nice and good also. Nice and clear. Very nice, smooth reception also. It's not cutting out. That is good. Okay. Well, okay. So I'm impressed with this. The station selections are small. Even there in Reunion, I only saw a couple of stations. But you can add your own stations. It's likely that in places like Europe and North America, maybe there will be more stations. Let's try again. Europe, United Kingdom. Interesting, I just saw Ascension Island there listed under Europe. It's in Africa, of course. BBC Radio. No, it's not connecting to the BBC. Let's just try France. And news, let's see. Let's try France Inter, that is the French public radio station service. Loading, here we go.
But a voice is a powerful thing.
C'est vrai qu'avoir une voix, c'est un vrai pouvoir.
It can shine a light on something that is
Ça peut mettre en lumière ce qui se cache dans le noir.
Yeah, there it goes. And once again, you can see actually the tuning dial at the bottom, and then you can tune into other stations. That is quite nice. That's
Merci d'écouter une radio digitale énergie. Pour une expérience sonore augmentée, encore plus de musique.
Yeah, as you see, you can tune into another station there. Good sound. The sound is very, very good. Yeah, the sound is very good. So let's just, before I finish, have a look at what happens when I press the podcast button. It's loading. BBC Radio 5 Live. Let's see.
We're not able to bring you the current sports commentary on this platform. You may be able to listen on an alternative platform. For further information and terms of use, go to...
Oh well, but I cannot listen to the sport on this platform. Back to podcast list. Right, oh, that's Vesti FM, the Russian station. Let's see. So it says you clicked on podcast, but then I find radio stations.
Регистрация в квартире позволяет им получать социальные преимущества, например, возможность прикрепления.
Okay, that is Vesti FM from Russia. There's Radio Romania. No, these are not podcasts. These are radio stations, as you can see. Some big, major radio stations. Radio Maria, yeah, LBC London. Okay, still interesting. It's nice to have a list here of some very big, well-known radio stations from around the world. There's something from Tanzania. What happens when I press news? So there we have some news radio stations. It's interesting that there are a number of African stations here. I wonder if this is the case for all radio stations. I mean, for all the radios that they send out, or just if they have market-specific ones. Like this one is obviously for Africa. And by the way, the company Choyong asked me, there's Radio Mozambique as well. That's very interesting. A very, very interesting selection of stations here. The company Choyong mentioned to me that they are looking for distributors in Africa. So if any people in Africa are watching this and they would like to become distributors of this radio, please contact me. I'll put you in touch with the company. They are looking for some distributors. There are some interesting radio stations that we can see. Yeah, let's see Radio Mozambique. Yeah, here we have Radio Mozambique, my neighboring country.
Para o número 95100 com o texto estica e o número do teu cartão Zap e fica ligado aos teus canais favoritos. Zap, a minha TV.
Yeah, that's good. And if we click on music, we'll probably find some music stations. So it's a pre-populated list of some stations that they've loaded here under these buttons. But you can obviously add, is Radio Free Europe, Radio Farda. I wonder what's going to happen if I click there, because the VOA US AGM stations are not transmitting at the moment. Let's see, maybe via the internet they are transmitting. Well, it is actually transmitting. Interesting. Okay, let's do one more. What can we find here that's interesting? Lots of Russian stations. Capital FM London. Right, so that is the end of the unboxing and my initial test. I'm actually fairly impressed with this radio. I think the internet stations work very, very well. I think it's nice that you can search by country. They seem to have quite a nice selection of stations. Some are not there, but you can add them. You have the option to add them yourself. The way that they offer you the music stations, the news stations there, that is nice. Also with very interesting selection of stations from Africa also, which I'm very impressed with. The podcast button is a bit weird because that seems to go to internet radio stations and not podcasts. But anyway, and you can add your own stations with this button, so it's quite easy. You can also favorite stations with this button. If you hold this one, it will give you your favorites, and it will be by internet radios or by band. You can save them in FM, medium wave, and shortwave. That's very, very useful function. That is actually very nice and very easy. You just press this favorite button in any channel where you are. Shortwave, surprisingly good. It is pretty much noise-free and very, very sensitive. I'm using the MLA30 Plus, of course, for the shortwave, but I'm really actually surprised by the shortwave performance. FM is so-so. It's not fantastic, but yeah, it's okay. Your local stations will come through. Medium wave is not good at all. Medium wave is the weak point on this radio. It's actually really quite poor, the medium wave. But good FM, very surprising shortwave performance, very nice internet radio. So I will do more tests over the coming weeks. This is my initial test, as I said, and my initial verdict is actually quite positive. I think as an internet radio and for shortwave, it's quite good, this Choyong LC90. And it's very interesting how they combined internet radio and shortwave in one package.
Andre the man from a land so wide.